everybody. I'm Derrick.
Hi, I'm Aubrey. We're with 210 Game Con. Welcome to our table.
We're glad you guys could join us today. Today we are going to be playing a game called Beer and Bread. So, beer and bread is very dear to us, not just because we like to partake of carbohydrates, but because, as you can tell, we often play games with one another. It's always
Yeah,
me and Aubrey. Most times we'll be playing together.
yeah.
So,
Two
uh,
player games are a
two
big
player
deal in
games.
our house.
So, most games, like the sweet spot is usually 3 players, 4 players, that type of scenario. But beer and bread is a only 2 player game. Only 2 people can play beer and bread, and it's one of our favorites because it has a nice little Euro component to it. It's not too complicated to understand the rules. It has a small footprint, so it's portable. So you can
Very
play it.
portable.
You can play it in an airport. You can play it. You can play it pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
so that's one of the things we like about it.
Perfect. So Derek's going to walk us through a little teach.
Okay, so now we're going to travel back to the Renaissance era. I am assuming because the box looks very Renaissancey, and we're going to be making beer and bread. Aubrey and I both have a bakery and a brewery and a storehouse all in the same village, and they're both separated by a river. Okay? So, this is how the game plays. This is a game where we are going to manage resources to make beer and bread. So, the game is played over a course of 6 years, not in real time. So you guys don't have to worry. You don't have to tune out. This is not going to be a 6 year long video, but 6 years play for different types of harvests. One year is a fruitful year, and the other type of year is a dry year. And we're going to rotate through fruitful years and dry years. So each year consists of 4 different phases. The first phase is the seeding phase. And if you look right here on this board, there is a number. This number this number corresponds to whether it's a fruitful year or a dry year. So, in the instance here, we have wheat, and there are 7 wheat because we're going to start out with a fruitful year. When we start out with a dry year, it's going to be 5 wheat that we're going to put in this square. If we come over here to barley, the barley is going to be 8 barley for a fruitful year and 4 barley for a dry year. When we come over to the rye, I know some of you guys like the rye bread with the little seeds in it. I do too. There's going to be 6 rye that we're going to place in this field during a fruitful year and 4 in a dry year. And then hops. For hops, we're going to place 6 hops for a fruitful year and 4 hops for a dry year. So that is the first phase, the seeding phase. It's basically just putting resources on the board. Water is always going to be plentiful because we do have a river that runs through our town. And we always have access because we always have little buckets, right? So there's really no buckets to the game. It's just we're just pretending we have buckets. Okay. The next phase is the card phase. We're going to start out with a hand of 5 cards. Okay. Now, with 5 cards, we are going to rotate from in player order, playing a card at a time. If you look at the card has an anatomy of 3 different types of um, 3 different types of text or symbols. The first way and those are 3 different ways you can play the card. The first way that you can play the card is by gaining resources. So when you play a card, there are little resources right up here at the top. You can collect those resources as playing a card. The second way is that you can spend resources. And when you spend resources, that's whenever you're creating either the beer or the bread. And then the last little component of the card is an upgrade. Upgrades allow you to get um, game abilities, so that way you can have different types of advantages in your bakery or brewery and storehouse. It'll give you different storeroom spaces and things of that nature, and it also allows you to sweep your brewery or your bakery, or your brewery and your bakery. So, the way that this works is a when you play a card here. Let's see here. If you look right here, you'll see the little symbols on the top. So this particular card right here would allow me to get a wheat and a water. Okay. Now, after I've played this, I leave this in my play area. And then if I decide to play another card that I want to gain resources from, you stack it together to make a little chart here. Then what you do is you collect anything from the bottom of where you placed it and anything else in that column. So after I played this second one, I would collect 2 water and one rye here in this particular instance. I hope that it sounds clear, but if it doesn't, it'll be very apparent when we start playing the game. Okay, so that's the first way you can play a card. The second is if you look down here in the middle of this card, you'll see you'll see a group of resources. When you play a card to make a beer or a bread, what you'll do is you will pay that amount of resources, and then you will take that card and you will put it face down in either your brewery, which is going to be a blue card, or this one's a brewery card too, or a brown card for your bakery. Okay? You're only allowed to have 1 beer or 1 bread in your bakery or brewery at a time, unless you have a upgrade card that lets you do something different than that. Okay. Now, another thing too that I forgot to mention about collecting the resources is that when you collect the resources, you can only collect as many spots as you have in your storehouse. So if you look at these cool little, like this is you can see this one really good. If you look at this cool little storehouse, it's divided up into 9 different sections. So what that allows you to store is you can store up to 9 resources. So if you're collecting resources and you end up with an extra resource, you would think that you just get rid of the resource, right? Well, that's not the case in this game. This is a 2-player game. You have 1 opponent, and if you have too many resources, we got 1 little small town. We've only got a limited number of wheat and all that stuff. You have to give those resources to your opponent.
Yes.
Then,
nice.
If your opponent doesn't have room for the resources, then she can put them back into your storage area. Okay? Now, I think I may have said this already, but if you have a beer or a bread in your bakery, you are only allowed to have 1 of those at a time. And I know what you're thinking is, well, then how am I supposed to get more stuff? Well, when you play the upgrade section, which is this bottom section, which gives you different abilities for things, you'll tuck it underneath the player board in the corresponding section. So there's different symbols on this board, like here's a sandbag, a chef's hat, a broom, money over there. When you place it under here to get the upgrade, not only do you upgrade, but you also get to sweep everything out. So if you sweep everything out, you'll move this to the side of your board, and you will use that card to score your points at the end of the game. If you look, there's also a little number here, and each different brewery, each beer, or each bread is worth a certain amount of victory points. Now, we will add those victory points up at the end, and you're going to get 2 scores, 1 for the amount of beer that you made and 1 for the amount of bread that you made in victory points. You will take the lower number of the 2, and then whoever has the higher of those 2 numbers wins the game. Okay?
Oh, and this is where you usually
That's right,
beat me.
Because if you have like 36 beer and 5 bread, well, 5 is your score.
Yes, and you usually, really like I tend to focus on 1. I have to remind myself to Diversify.
So, when we talk about the gameplay, it's going to be very interesting because we're going to do one of Aubrey's favorite things is we're going to draft. She's not crazy about the drafting. For those of you guys that are going to get to know her, she has a hard time passing over good cards to her opponent. So, what'll happen is she'll play a card, I'll play a card, then I'm going to pass all of my cards to Aubrey, and she's going to pass all of her cards to me. Then we're going to play another card, and we're going to pass them back and forth again until we're out of cards. Now that is going to be just for the fruitful years. The dry years are going to work a little differently. So you will end up with, one of these rows at the end of your turn. You'll have like 3 or 4 cards, maybe not 4, because then you wouldn't have made anything. But you'll have a set of cards that you have stacked in your play area. You have stacked in your little play area here at the end of your turn. So in the dry years, what happens is you pick up those cards, and that's going to be the base of your next hand. So if you have 3 cards, you'll draw back up to 5. So in this instance, I draw 2 more, and then that would be my hand. We're also going to deal out 3 cards from the deck on these little dry year spots, and you can substitute those. You can change those out. So we will not be drafting in the dry years.
Yes.
So Aubrey's thinking dry years, yay for me. I don't have to draft. But you can draft with community resources. Okay. And then we'll go and we'll do that for 6 years, and at the end of that, we will calculate our victory points. Whoever has the most in the least.
The most of the least.
The most of the least of theirs wins the game. So, in pure Aubrey fashion, we are going to roll.
We're going to roll a D20
to see who goes first.
Because technology is great, but
she's a fan of the D20.
I'm a fan of the D20.
All right, I'll roll the D20 first. 7, lucky number 7. 20.
Oh!
Aubrey wins the game. Game over. Game's over. So, this side right here, this is going to be Aubrey's side.
This is going to be my side here.
And then this side will be my side. So I'm going to put the little windmill next to Aubrey. Now, I'm glad I said something about the windmill, because that reminded me of another important component of the game.
Okay.
And that is, whoever gets to go first does not just switch back and forth. That is going to be whoever at the end of the round has the least amount of resources in their storehouse gets to go first for the next round.
Okay.
Okay? So, it is your turn. Without further ado, here's beer and bread.
Here's beer and bread. Okay. This is a really expensive card. It's worth 8 points. It is a beer. But at the top of it, it has 2 water. So I'm going to play it first to make sure that I have plenty of water. So do I go ahead and grab those and put them in my storehouse?
Yes.
Okay, so 2 water right here into my storehouse. Okay.
Okay, let's see here.
What are you thinking, Ken2?
I am going to start out with this upgrade. Oh, no, I'm not going to do an upgrade yet. Because if I did an upgrade, then I would forfeit my sweeping action.
Correct.
So, I don't know which kind of cards are here. Because Aubrey's cards are the ones I'm going to get next. So I'm going to go ahead and go with a rye and a wheat. And I'll put those in my storehouse here. And then we will trade back and forth.
Okay.
And then we will go again.
The thing about this game that's both wonderful and dreadful is I'm not a player that generally plays 2 or 3 steps ahead of myself. So there are certain games that I can do that. Tapestry, I see. Art Nova, I can see. But this game, I guess it's because of the drafting.
Yeah.
I have a really hard time planning ahead.
Well, it's the same card that you're going to be getting, but sometimes, for some reason, when you draft, you feel like you're giving it all away.
I know.
And so you feel like you're never going to see it again.
So, and this is...
That is going to be barley.
Barley. Okay,
right.
That's one thing about this. Oh, but I'm only going to get 2 barley
That's
there.
Right. So you want to put something down with a water, then you're going to get 3 water.
So I'm going to put down a water and a wheat. And because, I know that this is hard to see, but because there are 3 water in this column, and in the column corresponds with the last card played, I'll get 3 water and a wheat. Okay. So we'll try to keep you guys informed as to what we're playing. Thank you. Okay, now I need no more water. I only have room for 30 more resources here.
Alright, so I am going to play the same thing I played just now. Not the same card, but the same resource. And I am going to get 2 wheat and 2 barley.
So part of this game, too, is pulling the cards that you want to make in future hands.
Yes.
So that you don't pass them back and forth, correct?
That's right.
Okay.
Just
making sure I'm understanding.
I'm not that advanced, so I'm just kind of going with it.
I know. Okay, I'm going to play... There are 2 cards in my hand that have water. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to pass those extra resources on to Derrick because I'm that kind of player. So I'm going to play instead one that has wheat and barley. And so I'll take a barley and a wheat, and you'll notice that wheat is getting very scarce.
It sure is. Let's see here. So none of these resources are anything that I want. So I am going to go for I'm going to go for an upgrade because I don't need any of these resources. No, because then I'm going to end up giving you that resource. I'm going to go for...
See, I'm not the only one that plays that way. He plays that way, too.
I wasn't going to play that way until you said so.
Oh!
So I'm going to do this upgrade card. It says, you're always able to collect wheat, even if there is none on the field.
Okay, so you take that from the general supply.
Yeah, so if we run out of wheat, I still can get wheat. And at this point, I would sweep out my... not my storehouses, but my brewery and my bakery, but I don't have anything to make, so nothing there.
Okay.
So now I'll pass this over to
you. And I do not have enough resources to hold any of these resources that I play. So I think what I'll do is I'll go for an upgrade as well. Just because the barley is going to get a little scarce in the next round. So I'm going to play this card that says whenever you collect any barley during one of your harvest or store actions, collect an additional barley.
Oh, okay.
And that belongs with the sickle.
Place it right there.
Thank you. And again, I just kind of forfeited the opportunity to sweep my bakery and my brewery.
Okay. And now I'm going to collect another resource, and it's going to be water and barley. I know I just did that in opposite order. But there's my water and my barley, and then there's your card. Here's my card. Go for it.
Okay. For each of your sold, the upgrade here says at the game end, for each of your sold cards, which is worth 4 or 5 coins specifically, gain 1 extra coin for its type of good. Now, this bread is insane. It's worth 7 different resources. I don't have room for more resources on my board, and the resources I have do not match what I'm going to have in the next round. So I think what I'll do is I'll go ahead and use this upgrade again here on the coins so that I can look for cards with a value of 4 or 5. So hopefully that'll be beneficial for me in later rounds.
All right, good choice. All right, I'm going to make some bread. And it's going to cost me 1 water. Back to the river here. And then 3 rye, which we'll put back over here.
3 wheat? Were those wheat or?
Those were rye.
Those were rye. See, that's so hard for me to
And
keep.
then the bread is going to go right here. One thing is if you look down here in the corner, it has 1 and 1 to show you can only keep 1 in the storehouse.
Oh, okay. Great.
So that is it for the first round. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go into the windmill phase.
Okay.
Which is a fancy way of saying I have less resources, so I get to go first next time.
Derrick,
See, I have 4 resources, and Aubrey has 8 resources. Then we're going to go into the card phase. So I'm going to draw up here. I have 3 cards.
I have
3
3 as well.
I'm going to draw 2 to draw back up to 5. And Aubrey has 3 cards, so she is going to draw up to 2.
As well.
And then we're going to flip over these 3 here.
Okay, that's a little far away from me, so you might have to help me out.
And I have gotten ahead of myself because I haven't switched over to the dry phase, which allows us to put these resources back in. So we have not done that yet. So we weren't supposed to do that until after we did the seeding phase.
Oh, that's okay.
Which, it's okay now, but some of these will say at the seeding phase you get this and that. So that's going to be 5 wheat here because we are in a dry phase now. Here we're going to get 4 barley, so 2 of these go away. And then here we get 4 rye, so we add 2 here. And here we get 4 hops, so 2 of these are going away. All right, there we go. So now we've done the seeding phase. Then we just did the card phase, which we did earlier. So now we're going to start with our action phase here. So I am going to trade this card for this card so I can collect 2 hops. Alright, we'll place the hops here.
Okay. I am going to hope that there is something in Derrick's hand that he's going to pass me.
We don't pass in this phase.
Oh, no. Okay, because my resources do not match any of these. So, let me try. Nope, not going to happen. Okay, so I really overdid myself with water here. So, I'm going to play this upgrade. It is a sickle again. At the end of the seeding phase of each year, collect 1. What is that?
That is a rye.
1 rye. I can never keep them straight.
Oh, you don't get
No,
rye.
no, not right now.
Okay.
So, I cannot replace what I have, correct? It just is forfeited to you.
No, no, you can't. You can, if you acquire some new resources,
Correct.
You can switch it all out to have what you want in there.
Oh,
So
I
you can take like these waters out,
but they go to you.
but they will go to me first.
Okay.
And then I decide whether or not to put them back in the supply.
Oh, okay, great. That's helpful.
Which is something that I'm not expecting you to do.
I think I'm going to have to.
Alright, so I'm going to go and I'm going to switch this card out here so I can get some water. Because I really needed water. I was really hoping you would collect resources and give me all that water you have over there.
Okay, let me see.
And so that's it for my turn. So this is a water, a barley, and a wheat. So a water, you skip a space, barley, and a wheat in case you're making a grid.
Right.
Okay.
I
This
think
is
I think I want that one in the
This
middle.
one in the middle. Okay.
Yes.
So
And
give
I'm
me a
gonna
card.
switch that card.
We'll switch that
Because
card.
goodness knows I don't need water. Even though this gives me a water, it's me a wheat and a barley, right?
Right.
Okay. You guys know I make up words, so I might just decide to call them whatever I want to call them. Okay, so I'm going to take these two resources and switch out a water.
All right.
So that water now belongs to Derrick.
Belongs to me. Yes.
Oh, and I get an additional water. I switched out a water, so there's an additional water that you get.
I don't have room for it.
Oh, okay. So it's forfeited back to the river.
Okay. So, um, okay. So now I am going to make a beer, and that beer is going to need to. That's going to cost me 2 hops, a water to put back here, and a wheat. Put the wheat back here. There we go. And I am going to make this 5-point beer, which I wanted to do because I could have made a bread, but then I'd have 10 points of bread and 0 points of beer,
Right.
which would not have been a good strategy.
Right.
So, and that's it for me.
Okay, now I'm going to, I think that I'll be able to produce this bread if I play it right. And I think I'm going to do that by playing this card for resources, which means I get a, here comes more resources your way. I get a hops, which I'm going to take away one of these waters. Goes to you, sir. And then another wheat.
You
And
get 2 wheat.
oh, I'll give you one because I don't want to get rid of all of my water.
Did you?
So there's a water and there's a wheat for you.
All right, I'll take both of those.
That's kind of interesting because it's kind of shared resources.
It is. Well, we're in the same town.
Yes.
Cutting from the same.
But that's a rare mechanic, right? There's not many games that I've run into that have.
Well, we've been playing Arborea lately.
Yes.
That's shared resources.
Shared resources. But other than that, I can't think of any.
Agricola.
Are those shared?
Well, you have to if you get to them first.
That's
But we know
true.
we know how mean that sweet Euro is. All right.
We might have to
One of these days
make
we'll
a
have to
video
play
to
it.
prove how cutthroat that one gets.
Okay. So I am going to play an upgrade now, and this upgrade I'm going to play is what? Ooh, let me see if there's any good upgrades here. You may hold 1 additional beer card. If you place more cards or upgrades than the other person, gain +2 for either beer or bread. I don't know. Aubrey seems to be getting crazy with the upgrades over there. I'm gonna go with this one. This will give me 1 additional storage unit.
Oh, nice.
And then these sweep off, and then they'll. If you want to, I don't know if you want to hold these over there for me or. You want me to
No, go ahead and hold on.
Okay.
So I don't know. I'm gonna switch here. Oh no, you really still can't see it. But this is a little additional. It's got a little graphic here of an additional little storehouse, which is really kind of a neat detail. Anyway, it was a good go.
Yeah.
It was a good try.
I agree.
So I am now going to produce my first bread. And lucky me, it is worth 4, which matches my upgrade. So I'm going to pay 1 water and 3 wheat to the supply. You can help me there. And I'm going to produce this lovely bread in my bakery and take it over here.
Well, I can't really do much of anything here but collect resources, so I'm going to do just that. So I'll get 1 wheat and 1 rye. I place it in my little bitty storehouse.
Okay. I am going to do the same. And then I'm going to collect a barley and a rye.
All right. Excellent. So that is it for the phase. So now we will do the windmill phase, which a part of that is cleanup. And the cleanup is that we take the cards that we have played, and they get discarded now.
So this time we don't keep them.
Right, we don't keep them this time. So we get rid of those. And you have fewer resources, so you get the windmill next.
Okay.
Now we'll move into the next year, which is a fruitful harvest. So now when we do the seeding phase, we're going to put these resources according to the green side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
So we need 5.
5 of those.
These.
And 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 there, and then 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, 6
That's
there.
7. There you go.
7. Okay, so we have that. That is going to be the seeding phase, then the card phase. This is really hard for me because we live in Texas, and I know 1 and 1 and 1, but here they're very specific. You get 5.
Oh, 5 off the top. Oh. Okay. So I get to go first again. Let me see if I can make anything first.
So you get to go first, like it said there.
I don't have a wheat to make that one. I don't have wheat.
Lots of wheat going on over there.
And I don't have a wheat for that one either.
And I'm passing over all of my good cards, like Aubrey says.
Okay, so I'm going to play a card that has 2 wheat. Because I know eventually one of these cards, 3 of them are going to make it back to me. So perhaps I'll have enough to make at least 1 card. And hopefully it'll be a deer.
And I am going to make something here. And it's going to be a piece of bread, or a loaf of bread. It's going to cost me 2 wheat, a rye, and a water. So it's just like that good rye bread that we were talking about, that you guys were talking about that you liked so much earlier. And then we're going to put it right here in the bakery. And we draft.
Okay, first of all, I'm going to see if there's anything I can make here. And there's a bread, but I do not want to make another bread.
You can't fit another bread in there.
Oh, that's true. And I don't have enough to make these beer. So I don't have room for resources. Whenever you collect wheat.
Ooh. I can't believe you didn't grab this one.
Oh, this is the best upgrade. Well, maybe not the best, but I can't pass this one up. During fruitful years, before the first card swap with the other player, turn one of your hand cards upside down. This inverted card can only be played by you, not the other player.
That is good.
So I'm going to...
All right. And you can sweep out your...
sweep the bread.
All right. Man, I got lucky with this one. All right. I'm going to need some pops here.
And I think I didn't pay attention to my cards over there because that's the only thing is this board is supposed to be right in front of you, but for the sake of filming, we had to switch it. So did I miss out on anything
Let's see,
there?
whenever you collect any barley during your harvest and store actions, collect 1 additional barley.
Okay, I did.
Then the other one is at the end of the seeding phase. You just play that.
Oh, okay.
So
yes. Okay. So now I have enough to make another bread. You know what? But it's a 4. So I'm going to use that one because of my in-game scoring card. I'll just need to really focus on making some beer in the next couple of rounds. So for 2 wheat, a water, and barley, I will make this bread. And how does this work? Oh, that's an upgrade at the bottom. Never mind. I got confused there for a second. Okay.
All
Your
right,
turn.
my turn. I am going to make this beer, which is going to cost me 2 water, a hops, and 2 barley. Right there. Pass those across.
And they're bread cards. I am going to play this card because it has water, which I need, and hops. So I'm going to grab those. Okay, so hopefully I can produce some beer here.
Alright, and I'm going to get resources. That's going to give me 3 barley. 1, 2, 3. I can grab all these. There we go.
Okay.
And you can
Last
have that card.
And, oh, I'm missing just 1 water to produce this one.
Oh, you didn't give me the one I wanted back. Did you read that upgrade? That's the one that upgrade.
Whenever you brew beer or bake bread, you may spend 2 wheat as either 1 barley or 1 hops as often.
That was the upgrade I was hoping I was going to get back. And I did 50, 50, 90. You ever heard of that rule?
No.
You got a 50-50% chance you're going to get it wrong 90%
That makes sense. Kind of?
Yeah?
Okay, so I guess I'm just going to... this is a good card, so to have it in my hand would not be detrimental. I'm going to play it for resources. And I have just enough space for it as well.
All right.
So look at all of that. Tell me again.
Rye.
Rye. All of that rye.
All the rye. All right, so I'm going to play this upgrade here in the size. It really doesn't benefit me. I mean, I guess it would. It's whenever you get rye, you get another rye. But I just needed to clear my warehouse. All right, so there's that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the windmill phase. I have less cards.
Less resources.
Less resources, so
Okay.
I will get to go first next time. And so now we're going to move into the next year, which is going to be a dry season.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and we'll do the seeding phase. So there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 there. We need 1 more barley here. Then we need to take 1 of these rye away. And then we've got the amount of hops there. We'll go into the card phase now. I'm going first, so I get to get the cards first. So I have 2 cards, so I'm going to get 3 new cards. And you have 3.
2, please.
So you're going to get 2. And then we're going to flip over these 3 here.
Yay, they're beer cards.
There we go. For that. And I get to go first. Alright. Is that a good thing? I don't know.
Ah, the
Maybe
wheat.
it is. Maybe it isn't.
The wheat.
Okay.
Okay.
One thing that you will notice about Euro games is that they almost always have wheat in them. Alright, I'm going to switch this one out here because I need water. So I'm going to grab 2 water. Did you see in the last set of cards, there was an upgrade card that allowed you to store 2 extra water?
I did, but I baked it.
I was thinking that was a good one.
I baked it for bread. I think I want to switch this card. Which one do I want to switch? I think I'll switch this one. Which one was I trying to make? That I'll switch this one for the first card if you don't mind, please. And then I'm going to play that for resources. So I'll take a water. I'm going to get rid of one of these. And that precious, precious beet. Here you go.
Oh, I get that?
You get those.
Oh, that's right. Alright, that changes what I want to do then. So I am going to make a beer, which I did not have enough resources for, and now I do. Thank you.
That's the way it
so
always
I'm going to take
goes.
a rye. Actually, I should have taken that one down there so I don't lose track of it.
So in the last
2 barley,
video,
3 water.
we talked about how you always want to do impressions.
Yes.
And I can't believe that we didn't get a "You're welcome."
Oh.
A Moana Maui.
You know what? I didn't even think about it.
Oh, wow. Then I shouldn't have said anything. Because now it's going to be in your head. It's going to be in your head, too.
You know, that doesn't really say a lot about me.
Why?
Because saying thank you just did not even cross my mind for doing that. That is a 9-point beer.
Oh.
Which means I need a 9-point break.
That's what I was going to say. Okay, so now I am going to produce this beer. It is worth 1 water, 1 hop, 1 wheat, and 1 barley. I'm going to put those I can't reach stuff. Oh, I almost made it. Okay, so here it's a 5-point, which benefits here for my in-game scoring. But I'm going to have to play an upgrade card soon so that I can hopefully produce more.
Alright. You know, because I've got some cards here that are good, but the one that I need to spend to get the resources is on the same card that I need to play. So I'm going to do this one here because it's just going to give me more resources so I can play around with them. It's going to give me 3 water and a wheat and a rye. And then whenever you collect any rye during your harvest and store action, collect 1 additional. Alright.
Ready?
We don't switch, just the drop.
Oh, I keep forgetting. Okay. Well, good, because I have that upgrade card that you wanted. I'm glad I don't have to send it back to you. Like this. Okay, so now I need an upgrade. I'm going to play that upgrade. Whenever you brew beer or bake bread, you may spend 2 wheat as either 1 hop or 1 1 rye as often as you like. I'm going to play that right there. That'll allow me to sleep peace.
But that's to make that. That doesn't help me. That upgrade card really would have been nice. I'm going to do this upgrade. Whenever you collect any barley, collect an additional barley. That sweeps my beer away.
Got it?
Alright.
Okay. How do you have 1 card left and I have 2?
Because it's your turn.
Oh, and you went first. That's right. I am going to spend this one for resources, and that gives me 3 wheat, which is the remainder of the wheat for the season.
Alright. That's the remainder of the wheat for the season. Man, this is a tough one because I could use some hops here. So I'm going to do this one. I'll switch it up with this one. And that'll give me 4 water and a barley. So I'll take the barley here, and I'm going to give you the 4 water.
Okay, I will take one of them here. What do I want to give up? I think I'll give up the water. I think I'll pass.
All right.
And then for my last one here, I can't produce this one because I'm 1 resource short. And I don't really need the resources, so I guess I'll play the upgrade. At game end, for every 2 beer cards that you sold, gain 1 extra coin for beer. Which doesn't help me right now, but, you know, I'm hopeful.
Yep.
I'm always a hopeful person.
All right, so now we do the windmill phase. So that's going to entail cleanup. So we'll get rid of these cards here, put them over here in the discard pile. Then you will get to go first next time because I have 10 resources and you have 9. And then you will move this over. Let's go ahead and do the seeding phase.
Okay. There's 7 of these.
We'll do 2 more here.
4, 5, 6.
1, 2, 3, 4. And then here 8. Alright, there's that. And then the card phase, you'll get 5. There you go. And then I'll get 5. Now we're going to draft back and forth.
Okay, and situation is getting dire because I've only produced 2 breads and 1 beer. And
well, look at all those resources you got there.
I know, but you've produced quite a bit more, so it's getting down to the wire for me. I do not want to produce a bread. Let me check my points here.
This is a tough one. I'm just going to have to hope for the best. Gain some more resources so you can give me some more.
No way! No way! That's a bread. It's perfect. I have exactly what I need, but it's a bread. That one is a bread. That one is a beer. That one I don't have enough. So I don't have a choice. This is it. I am going to produce this little 4-point beer for 2 wheat and 2 water. Put it in my little storehouse here. Let's go back.
So, this one's a tough one. And this is where the drafting gets really tough.
Okay.
It's because I could either make a bread now, and only one of these cards I'm going to be allowed to do that with. You know, so that means that I may not get it back, and then I might not be able to, unless you've got something there that I can use. And then I've got a really good upgrade here.
See, I guess that's where I don't pay attention to what you have.
Okay.
Like, I guess I could play this to where I really pay attention to your resources.
I'm gonna make this. I was gonna.
But that's just not how I play.
I
just am so focused.
I'm just gonna do this because I can't chance it. I'm gonna play this bread, but this is a bread that would give me +1 for every 2 breads. So that means that I could even out my breads and my beer points.
Yes.
But I gotta make it. All right, here you go.
Okay. See what we have here. I have no water, so I cannot make anything, and there is no water on these resources. That's a good upgrade. In the card phase of dry years, when picking up your harvest cards from the previous year, you may discard any number of them. Kind of gives you a fresh start. Um, you know what? I am going to play that upgrade so that I can sweep this card. Place that over there for you. So I can at least get those points in my hand.
Alright. So I am going to do this and put water in a hops. Back to collecting.
Let's see. What is the thing that I need most? Is water. And I'll take water and wheat. So that seems to be the thing that will give me the most leeway.
Alright, I'm going to play this for 2 weeks. And let's see, okay, I don't get extra week there. Okay.
Oh, you handed me exactly what I needed. I am going to play this bread card, and it will be for 1 water, 2 rye, and 2 wheat. Right into my bakery there.
I'm going to put this guy here because I forget I got him. Alright. I'm going to play this guy here, which will give me 2 water and 2 hops. So I'm going to take the 2 hops, and then I'm going to give you the 2 water.
Oh, I needed that very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh, there it is.
All right.
Okay, so I cannot build this card. I do need resources. I will take the 2 rye and hope it comes back around for me.
All right, and then I'm going to make this beer, which is going to cost me 2 water. Hold on, let me see what's on it. 2 water, 2 of these.
And I guess you play these face down so that your opponent doesn't know how many points you have in your hand. Is that
That's probably true.
the
Yep.
mechanic?
Okay, so there's that. So now we do the windmill phase. I have 5 resources. You have 6. So I get the windmill. We switch sides. It's a dry harvest. So we need 1 week here. We need. This is also the last round of the game. This, and then here's 4. And then we go to the card phase. I've got 3 cards.
Do you put the cards out first?
No, you put them out.
Put them out after.
And you need 3.
3, please.
And then here's the 3 new ones. All right. And then I get to go first. I'm going to get rid of this card here to get this card here for the upgrade, which is at the end, for every 2 bread cards that you sold, gain 1 coin for extra bread. And I'm going to put it over there at the end. It's over by the coins.
Okay.
And then these sweep off and come back to me.
Okay, I think I'm going to play for resources. That's a, excuse me, a water, a wheat, and a rye. Your turn.
I'm going to play this card here, which is going to give me a water, a barley, which I get 2 of, and a wheat. Alright.
Okay. And I would like to, I think that's the one that's possible to make. I'm going to have to spend the card to get the resources for the one that I can make. Okay, let's get rid of one of these. And I'll give that to you. And then a wheat. Oh, I don't know. And I'll give you the box.
I'm going to switch this beer out with this beer and make it. That's going to cost me 2 water, a hops, a barley, and a wheat. You know, when you're throwing cards around here, it's easy to forget that the water goes back into the drink.
Okay, I think I just figured this out. So can I trade for that last one on the end? Actually, yeah.
Is that right? They give you that card?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I get 3 of these, of which there are only 2. And I need 1. So I'll pass it along, and then I get hop. And I'll pass that along too.
Oh, you'll pass those along to me.
Pass those along to you, yes.
All right. Now we're baking bread.
This is just. Oh, I can't even bake. Oh, I can't bake a bread.
There's a lot of moaning and groaning going
I
on
know.
here, right?
I know. This game seems very simple, but it's very thinky.
It is.
And I will. Oh, I thought I just figured something out, but I didn't. Okay. I will sweep. It doesn't even matter what the upgrade is. I just need to get this bread off the board.
Okay. And then for my last trick, I'm going to take this bread. 2 of these, 2 of these,
and I am also going to make a bread for a water, 2 rye, and 3 wheat. I have too much bread. Said no one ever until this moment.
Okay, so how much beer do you have?
9.
9, and then coin for beer. Extra coin of what?
3.
So you have.
So I have 12 total.
All right, and then for bread.
I have 13.
Okay, and then upgraded.
And then extra coins, I have 3. So that's 16.
Okay, and then what do I have over there for the?
This says for every 2
1 for
bread
2.
cards, you gain an extra card for bread.
So I get, let's see, that is 23 for bread, 25 for bread. So that's 2 there.
Nice.
And then here I've got, let's see, that's 11, it's 24, 30 for beer. So I have 25 as my lowest to the 2 and 13 is the lowest. So 25, 13.
Very good.
You know, like with all the really like good games that we have coming out now, I mean, this past weekend we played 3 new games, counting Thursday's weekend, like 3 new games. It's easy when you have over 200 board games. It's easy to forget games that you really enjoy, and this is one of them. So I'm really glad that we made this video because this is a game that I really enjoy because
yes.
you know it satisfies the Euro puzzle because we're not Aubrey doesn't like the games where you start attacking people and things like that. She likes to kind of just play her own thing, but it allows you to try to figure out a logic puzzle, and it's 2-player, small footprint. I'm a real big fan of Iron Bread. It's one of my favorite games. One of my favorite 2-player games, at least.
Yes.
I have a lot of favorite games. It's very rare that I get a game I don't like. So, but good game, well played.
Good game, well played. GGWP. Just a reminder, if you like this video, to like and subscribe. Tickets are available at 210gamecon.com. You can buy them now. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook, both at 210gamecon. And we'll see you next time.
All right, thanks. You guys have a good day. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.